And the top right here, currently down the series, but looking to fight back. In the blue, he is
Ocean Gaming Special.
As he said in his interview from the round of 8 that he is, or rather for the round 16, that he is good friends with Classic, but not able to get a point on the board just yet. In the bottom left here, currently up in the series in the red, the Protoss player, he is
Makers Classic.
The last Korean in this tournament, believe it or not. Not something that any of us thought we'd be saying before the grand finals, maybe.
It's like Bizarro world. We're in upside down land here.
Yeah,
it's normally where I come from, where everything's upside down. But this tournament.
So maybe in Australia right now, the Koreans
in
are
Australia,
winning.
there are 3 Koreans in one tournament. Yeah.
All right, so Special's building his barracks in a feisty location in the corner of his main base. Now, what he's trying to do here is just kind of scare Classic. Let's see if Classic is going to take a look at the main base all the way or not. Because obviously, if you're Classic right now, you'd be like, whoa, I'm getting proxied. Like, how committed is it? Is he building a bunker in my natural? If you don't see that barracks, if you do spot the barracks, this is actually a very nice scenario. Because then you can just go for the 1-gate fast expand. And this is adorable. The entire family.
The Stemkoskis, they're all here.
We've been actually watching that, and like we're barely looking at the opening. We see kids running around. One is like rolling down the stairs over here in the Hall of Fame, but everybody's safe, guys.
Yeah, very wholesome here. So Special is going for that factory wall off, and this still kind of looks like a proxy to Classic. You know, he sees the factory going down 100 gas. He's like, all right, there's a Reaper proxy on the way here, but it is the fake version here for Special. The whole idea is to try and force out a Zealot from the Protoss that he doesn't need.
Yep, and delayed at Nexus, which was not necessary. Like Classic could have just gone for the 1-gate fast expand. If he really wanted to play it safe, he could have gone core before Nexus. But Classic is actually delaying his Nexus a lot. He's truly respecting this potential cheese of Special. But as you guys can see at home, none of that is happening. So I'm actually surprised how much Classic is respecting this. I mean, I'm a crazy boy, man. I scout all of this and be like, 1-gate fast expand, here I am. Bring it on, you know. Show me what you got. But no, he's very worried.
I do so enjoy watching your ladder games, Roddy. It's a great time. It's the tumbler of whiskey, you and your stream.
That's true. I mean, I'm often having one too. That explains the performance. All right, well, Classic is going to scout, and I think now at this point he has obviously put 2 and 2 together. Now, the only thing you can say is that he still obviously was, well, the adept goes down, that he was building pros, and he's going for the Phoenixes again, just like we saw he did yesterday against Fantasy on this map. Classic, a boy to my heart, likes his Phoenix.
Yeah, and they're quite powerful in those stages of the game here. You get a couple of them, they can start to really hammer those SCV lines. Any factory unit that cops out, also easy to shut those down as well.
Hey, since one adept went down already, do you think there is a tiny bit of potential here for Special?
If he can get into the main mineral line, sure. One adept is, you know, the 2 Reapers can dance around it, but I mean, the get out of jail card here for Classic, if he needs to, is of course the Phoenixes now that there's 2 of them, but you really don't want to waste that Phoenix energy just yet, as you know.
Economically, this is so good for Special, guys. I mean, normally Terran is like 7-8 workers behind by now. They're actually dead even. That Nexus ain't even done yet. Classic truly respected this a lot, was obviously very worried and concerned. I don't know, might be feeling a little bit of the extra pressure. I mean, being the last Korean left in a tournament in South Korea, I can definitely imagine that it brings some extra pressure to your shoulders. And he's played very worried, very safe. And obviously he did a good job there picking up 2 of these units. I mean, I like my Phoenix. I think as long as Stim is not done, there is a lot of potential for these Phoenixes. Because there's nothing really out on the map right now that's good against Phoenix, besides maybe this one Widowmine. But the Widowmine doesn't even one-shot a Phoenix. One-shots Oracles, but does not one-shot a Phoenix.
Yeah, just heavily damages them in the red. So usually one will take the brunt and the rest will be fine. And it looks like the Phoenixes are going to eat a Widowmine here, but as we can see, they are still alive, and they're going to get a couple SCVs before they leave. Good control from Classic so far. Oh
my goodness.
Damn. Flirting with the devil there.
I mean, that's a lot of damage. That wasn't that pretty, but in the end, he does get out. That Liberator could, like, one-shot 2 Phoenix.
Yes, he actually could.
Just fight. I mean, I know that normally you don't ever want to fight Phoenixes with your Liberator, but I really think that 2 shots there would have been enough. Maybe even 1 shot to get a double kill, and that would have been sick. 2 extra barracks.
Okay. Lots of production coming down here for Special. Starport also getting its tech lab add-on as well to switch around with the barracks so we can start getting those bio upgrades.
What do you think you do with this Liberator now, right? It's like,
he's being a little bit indecisive with it. He like sent one to the north side, then he sent it down to the south. Classic shocking around with the Phoenixes here. Cyclone going to get some damage there on that Phoenix,
really?
but it gets lifted.
Yeah, I like the lift on the Cyclone. In the end, one Phoenix does go down, but I still like the idea of trying to save that one Phoenix. Now, there's still that that Widow Mine, I guess. So what he could maybe do, if all the units are out of position, shade 2 adapts in the mineral line, let one of them splash over the SCVs by that Widow Mine fire, and then the second one can grab a couple of kills. We do know there's a Robo Bay on the way as well, so Colossus is obviously most likely going to be the attack of choice. Economically, this is still all good for Special. The only thing that I'm a bit worried about is that I feel Special in general is a Terran that has the attack syndrome. He likes to attack, likes to always be active, and I feel against this style, you just don't really want to do that.
Oh, nice Liberator here.
Yeah, obviously while I say that, he gets a Liberator in the main base and does a lot of damage, but normally this is not the kind of stuff you want to do.
So the Phoenixes will get rid of that Liberator, probably no more probe kills here for Special, but very good stuff. Gets the Phoenixes onto the other side of the map, which means that now Special has a bit of breathing room as well, doesn't have to worry about chasing them down. Getting one of these adept kills is also nice, but of course, Classic is about to have those Colossi, which are good against pretty much everything Special has right now, including the Cyclones. He doesn't really have an anti-Colossus countermeasure just yet.
No, I mean, the Marauders can be very good, of course, if they have... if they have an upgrade advantage. Maybe the Marines can save it. Is there stim? No, there's no stim yet, so they can save it. Cyclone is going to push out some more damage. I mean, you're spot on. It's really funny how Marauders work against Colossus, right? Because it really depends what else is there out there from the Proto side to protect the Colossus. How high is the Immortal count? Do we have Guardian Shield, Force Fields? But Colossus are pretty bad against Marauders, and if the Marauders get in range of these Colossi, they can actually fall very quickly. So
they certainly can, which is usually why Protosses have like a meat shield of charge lots in front of them to make sure the Bio stays out of range of those Colossi and they can micro them back. It's just this single forge here at the moment from Classic, and he's getting attack upgrades rather than armor, so looks like he's probably going to complement this with maybe a few more Adepts or Stalkers instead. Yeah.
If you open up Stargate, and he made quite a few Phoenixes, right? I think 4 in total. It's a bit unlikely that you can expect him to also have charge here, right? Like, it's going to take a little while. You kind of want to get a 3-base economy going for that kind of stuff. I mean, it's definitely not a bad game for Special. There is potential. The one thing is, though, that like these fights against the Colossus, you have to be very careful, because if the force fields do land behind your little bio army and you're stuck, I mean, everything can disappear very quickly. We see a few more probes going down. I have no idea what happened there, but overall, I mean, I'd say that this feels like a pretty good game for Special, right? He's definitely in a very playable position, and I'd even say he's winning at this point.
Yeah, actually, I'm with you there. You know, his third's been on location for a little bit longer as well. You know, economically, a lot better for the Terran than you would expect at this point, considering that, you know, Classic hasn't really been on his side of the map too much, you know, apart from the Phoenixes in the early stages of the game. Special found a little bit of damage with that dropship of Marines. The medevac is dead, but the Marines still stand, and there's that charge for Classic. And Special already has +1 attack on these bio units, so they are hitting a little bit harder. DPS isn't too bad, and charge is quite away from being done.
Yeah, this doesn't really look like that much, even though Special is moving out right now with something that's not his entire army. You want to be very careful. There are those force fields. That's 4 force fields for not that many bio units, though. Phoenix is going to be annoying. They're going to lift one Marauder and maybe one more there, but look at Special. He's getting factory number 2 and 3. Probably going for that heavy tank style, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's been something that a lot of Terrans have been loving lately. Tons of tanks, definitely a good response to the Stalkers and Colossus specifically. Very, very good against that. He's been making Liberators 2x2, and he's going to siege up the natural and the main here. That's a weird liberation zone there from Special. So doesn't get anything done there. The third one, though, catches a few transferred probes, waiting for that Nexus to finish.
I actually thought I was going to do a little more. Well done there. Good defense by Classic. I don't know. Overall, I still feel like this is... Maybe this one's going to hurt. I guess he can recall again, right? It's been a while since he recalled. And I think that you probably want to recall against this double drop.
It's got no energy.
Oh, that's going to hurt a lot then, Maynarde. That's quite a few probes going down already. The entire army is quite far out of position. He's going to settle for the Robo Special, that is, and he's going to get an easy pickup on the Robo. Maybe even the Forge as well.
Oh, that would be nice. Special really respecting the Colossi, though. He's dancing out of those laser beams. All right, he gets up in the medevacs and gets out of there with 13 probe kills. A little bit of tech kill as well. Got that robotics facility and just pieces on out. Great stuff from the Terran.
He's so far ahead right now. Special is actually playing a really good game. I think Classic is playing an odd game. To me, this feels a bit indecisive, right? Like, I don't really see the game plan from the beginning to the
just like
end.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know.
I feel like he's been afraid of everything, but we often say in Starcraft, if you are worried about everything, there's always going to be something that's going to be very good against the way that you're technically playing. And to me, it just all feels a little bit off here, what Classic is doing. Special's not there yet, but he really has a massive opportunity, I think, a new Repugnancy to tie up the score.
He has, you know, we saw those triple factories for Special, but we haven't seen that much siege tank production. It's been primarily bio there from Special, the Marines, the Marauders, and also, of course, you know, replenishing the medevacs he's been losing. Couple nice catches there from Classic getting those medevacks. Special's army moving around to the north side here, while that Liberator gets on top of the natural again. What does Special's push look like? Does he have that many tanks in it?
But this is so funny,
Nothing.
right? Because does Special even need to push here? Like, he really doesn't. He has a bigger army, and he's way up in... economically he's way up. He's going to be able to get this Nexus, but I'd be like, play it safe, Special. He left a lot of his tanks behind, but the bio isn't here, though, Maynarde.
Yeah, tanks on their own are not too effective, so the SCV's been pulled to be that meat shield here, so the tanks can get those shots off. The Zealots are getting on top of them, though. Zealots very, very nice against unprotected tanks. Special taking a ton of damage from this attack from Classic. Classic's lost his third. Special's getting the main and also the natural. All those probes are about to evaporate.
Oh my god, that's so many workers going down incredibly quickly. Obviously, there's a lot of SCVs going down as well. Special just kind of needs to hang in there. Like 1 or 2 tanks. Yeah, that one tank there on the top side of our screen. That is a massive tank, but I mean, this would have never happened if Special had his bio units at home. I still think Special's going to be all right. He's got way more units. He still technically has a few more workers. He obviously has the ability to lift up his buildings, and Classic really doesn't have a lot to work with, but I don't know, Maynard. I'm like always a tiny bit worried because now suddenly we don't have tanks anymore. I mean, the Marauder count should be enough. I think if I'm Classic, by the way, I'd prioritize killing the Stargate here, or the Starport, rather.
Yeah, well, the 2 Vikings are about to pop out, which are actually a really big pain in the side for him if they pop out, because they could dance around that Archon and start to really kite those Colossi, the Prism as well. All of those things really inspire here for Classic to have any hope in this game. Meanwhile, the infrastructure of the Protoss getting slowly put apart here by the Terran. That Prism targeted down by those Vikings, going to go down.
Yep, that's why those Vikings are so important, like you said as well. And that's a lot of micro potential. That's actually... like, it's always a big pickup, right? We always talk about how important it is to kill a War Prism, but in this scenario, it's extra important, because obviously Special's army is way bigger right now than what Classic has left. But we also know, we saw it earlier today, a War Prism and a Dream, a lot of things are possible. So sniping that Prism is almost guaranteeing victory here, because I don't know how Classic is supposed to overcome like a 40 supply deficit.
Yeah, he can't juggle these Archons, can't juggle the Colossi to keep them alive. And Special is up 40 army supply here. The Vikings also on top of the Colossus, one of them very, very low. Oh, he gets it as well. The Vikings coming back from the attack as well. Oh, this is devastating for Classic.
Yep, he's losing a lot of units that he can't rebuild anymore. Both Colossi went down. I think Special can just show up here with his massive bioforce and tie up the series, Maynard.
This is it. This is just way too much here mathematically for the Terran. There it is, GG.